So I wanted to tell y'all that I'm super excited about tonight because something happened to me last week and I was like, girl, this is a podcast. This has to be a podcast. Mm-hmm. And I know who I want to come talk on this topic with. It's my friend Rachel. It's our friend Rachel. She's my friend first. No, I'm just teasing. Anyway.
I don't know.
I'm just going to claim her.
I'm pretty sure she was my friend first.
Anyway.
She baptized me.
Oh. Do y'all have BFF necklaces without?
We don't, but we could.
Okay.
We could.
We totally.
We have, you know what I was thinking about?
We could be bracelet buddies. Like
we do.
Joey and
We've
Chandler.
all got our...
Okay.
I was giggling because of our biblical names, which I don't think for my family that was intentional, but you know, Rachel and Rebecca and Sarah. I just think,
oh my goodness,
pillars right here.
I love that. I love it. Now, I didn't get the memo on wearing the pants.
You know, and I wasn't
the camo.
I wasn't obsessing over what to wear, but I was like, well, what do I need to do?
I did get quite a few texts. That's why I texted you yesterday. She's probably thinking, wow, Sarah's on the ball. She's thinking about what she's going to wear. And I'm like, because Rachel's breathing down my neck.
I just kind of wanted an idea.
She wasn't. I know.
But, and then I was like, I'm going to wear this. And then I wore something different. And then we didn't even I didn't say I was wearing camo pants. So
well, I told you I might, but then I said, oh, I'm going to wear this, which I didn't wear that.
What was that?
Well, the set of this.
Oh, well, see,
yes.
that's what I thought you were going to
So then
wear.
I traded these out, last minute. You know what about these pants? I'm going to tell this story. So I used to have these pants once upon a time. And now, if you go into Abercrombie, they're called their throwback line. Oh. So I had to buy them again because, I just had
They're so cute.
And even when I was in there, they were playing I Love You, Always, Forever. Yeah. And I'm like, this was probably playing when I bought them the first time around. It was a very cathartic moment, very full circle. And I was telling the girl who was folding the clothes, and she's like, oh. Yeah. But I'm sure she was like, get this 42-year-old away from me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm going to tell everybody that they can't buy those pants because that 42-year-old did. No, I'm just teasing.
Oh.
Anyway.
They look great. I love them.
Super
yeah,
cute.
so, it was my throwback pants.
They're good.
To my glory days. Anyway, I don't know. I'm in my glory days.
Absolutely.
They're all glory days.
From glory
They're
to
all
glory.
Glory to glory.
From glory to glory.
Yeah.
That's right.
You took the word right out of my mouth.
You know who says that a lot is Britt Krause. From glory to glory. I don't know. Anyway, every time I hear it, I think about her. Shout out.
So I want to know why you wanted...
Tell us what happened.
Let's turn around. Get back on track. So I had a massage last week, and Rachel used to do body work and massage and all that, and I used to see her. See, we're real good friends because she's seen the things. And anyway.
She's rubbed it out.
She no longer does this, so I've had to, go on this search for someone who, comes close to her caliber. And, it's been a journey. But last week, I was having some work done, and I'm on the table, and the therapist was getting toward she was on my foot, and my foot is, healed from being totally broken, and, it's a bionic foot. Anyway, I was like, hey, because she's doing this thing, and I'm like, she has a tool she's using, it's like a gua sha or whatever, and I'm like, if you do that near my ankle bone, the medial malleolus on the inside, I might come unglued. Sure. And she's like, oh, yeah, that's right. And I said, but what you're doing right now feels great, but just FYI. So she shifts gears as she approaches that area of my foot and on both sides, and she's doing something with her hands. And I'm like, oh, that feels okay. Oh, that feels nice. And then I start crying because I realize, and I say to her before it really starts coming, I'm like, that's actually really crazy because I don't ever touch my ankle there. I'm afraid I'm going to feel a screw or two sticking out. I'm afraid of how, and it doesn't feel like the sensation there is just never the same. And so even as I get close, if I'm shaving or even just inadvertently rubbing my foot or putting my foot in a shoe or something, I'm it catches me off guard. I'm like, ugh. I still get heebie-jeebies over the whole thing. And so I was I was trying to tense I know that I was like tensing, but then I was like, I was trying to like breathe through it and like relax and allow like whatever I was going to feel, be okay. And I did not expect to completely break down in tears. And what I said to her was, this part of my body has been so neglected. And I'm just realizing how much I'm still caught up in that emotion about the fall. Mm-hmm. And, even still, like, I'm so reactive, overly so. If I lose my balance a little bit and I kind of have to step funny, it's like still so PTSD where I just, excuse me, I just feel like I'm falling all over again. And
Do you want to share a little bit about that experience?
Sure.
So people have some understanding.
So we went on a mountain bike trip to Bentonville, and we were with another family, and it was our last day. And so I'm feeling pretty confident, on the bike, and we're on a pump track. So it's not even like I'm on this huge trail that I fall off of. But I am like 2 to 3 feet up in the air on a wood bridge that's going like this. And I just didn't have enough momentum. And I got nervous. And so I slowed and I put my foot down to like catch myself. Well, there's nothing below me. So I go all the way down in the bike and I land, right here. And I hear it and I feel it. And I just started screaming. And of course I've got 3 other adults telling me, you're okay, calm down, and I've got all the kids like close by that are freaking out. And so I'm trying to, but I'm just like, just let me get my bearings on my body, because my husband in his, trying to tend to me was trying to pull my sock. And I was like, please don't, I don't know what I'm going to see. If my bone is sticking out, I'm not prepared for that. I just wanted to feel around my foot. I just needed to but it was so excruciating. I just was like, I couldn't speak it. And so it was like, I felt like it was out of body. Like I could not. Anyway, so all of that, and I could see the ER. It was literally right across the field.
I didn't know that.
It was not strategic, because I'll tell you why. I said, just take me there. Just take me there. And they're like, well, we have the kids and the bikes, and we should just let's go take the kids home. Like, you maybe don't even need to go there. And I'm like, oh, no, I need to go there. Like, so, everybody's having a response to my fall. And so, anyway, they had to carry me to the car while I was trying to, because I just
stabilize.
Yeah, and then I get in the car and I hold it like this to our house 40 minutes away to drop the kids off, to turn around to come back to the ER. So I by the time we got to the ER, I was beside myself. Like I could not cry. I was, and so it's like I could, because here's the thing, and this was my problem for a long time, which maybe you can attest to this because you had a trauma on a mountain once.
Right.
When you fall, like you keep seeing and hearing and feeling the fall. Like I kept hearing my ankle break. I kept feeling the fall. I kept replaying in my mind, like, don't put your foot down, Sarah. It's not there. Just go. Don't put your foot down. And I'm putting my foot down. Like I could replay all of it so clearly. And so I haven't talked about it in a long time. So it was just a lot. And so even like, I had to like relearn how to walk, I was like in a wheelchair, and so it's like, I just felt, I told you immediately after when listeners, I like voice memoed and I called Ron, like these two and Ron, immediately after the massage session, and was like, I think that I still feel somehow like the only thing that keeps coming up for me is that I got robbed. I've been robbed, like, of something, and I still can't quite put my finger on it, but like there's just this level of healing that I'm not fully there yet, but I didn't realize that it was even something I needed to still deal with. You know what I mean? And so just the attention And the attunement to that, like, just, it surprised me, because one of the things, which I'm going to hop to you, one of the things that you and I used to talk about a lot was like our body remembers trauma. And I hadn't quite walked through, I'll take that back. Not in the same way. But anyway, we used to talk about that. And you used to talk about, as a therapist, things that you would see. And so I just was like, oh my God, like this is really happening to me in real time. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't wait to call you when I got done, because I was like, oh, I got to talk to Rachel about this.
Well, it's so sweet. I just think you experienced, like, here's the thing. And I don't know that if your massage therapist is a believer or not, but I just think God can use whoever he wants, whenever he wants, right? And I think that we, especially those who walk in the Spirit, right? We have an opportunity to partner with Christ in caring for one another, right? And we can do that through touch is one of the ways, right? And I think that our bodies do go through so much, and I think that as a believer, you can be in the middle or you can swing either way of like, my body is a temple, and taking it a little bit too far, idolizing it a little bit, versus I'm a spiritual being, you know, having a temporary physical existence, which, while that's true, it does matter that we are these flesh, you know, beings. And if we go to the beginning, you know, before the fall, our bodies were designed for eternity. Were they not? And so I just think about that, like the way we were created. The intention was forever. Now, the fall happened. We live in a broken world. There's injury, there's illness, there's disease, there's all these things. But it just blows my mind, like geeking out, thinking about before the fall, this is what the intention was.
This is how he designed us.
Yes.
Right?
And so I think it matters and it's important. Yeah. For sure. And I've seen, so a little bit about me. So I did massage therapy before I was a believer. And it really wasn't a great experience. I worked in a place where what I loved about it was also what I did not love about it. Anybody could afford to get a massage there. And so, as you can imagine, there, you know, it was in South Austin. We accepted walk-ins. And so, like, I literally, one time I was standing waiting for my client, and somebody came in and pointed at me and said, I want that one.
Oh.
Yeah. And so it's like, and I was a very young lady. I was 19, 20.
Oh, my goodness.
You know, and so it just, that, while that didn't happen every day, that was like a picture of what I was dealing with, you know, and I did have great clients. I had a great base of regular clients, right? But it didn't take away that, you know, there would be homeless people walking in to get a massage who, if you're experiencing homelessness, okay, but, you know, they were not bathed, there was an open wound, like just all kinds of crazy things. And so I really closed that chapter. And I was like, this is not for me. I'm not going to do this anymore. And so I let my license lapse. And then after I came to know the Lord, which was through largely through a big T trauma, that was the what you know, ultimately brought me to him. Now, he was drawing my heart near to him. But it took that. I mean, a part of me died, you know? And so it was in my healing that I found massage therapy again. And so it all kind of came about that I was, I found the Lord. I feel like I should probably start at the beginning of just how I came to know him. So there was a lot of brokenness in my past, a lot of darkness. my parents divorced when I was 1. And, sorry.
It's okay.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Take your time.
You know, they used to attend church, and, you know, I heard stories about my mom teaching Sunday school, and my sister went to a Christian school. And then when my parents divorced, they stopped attending. So I was not raised in church, is the short way of saying that. So many things happen in those, like, 0 to 3 years old, too. Like, I've learned so much about the brain and so much about just through trying to heal, right? Yeah. So I think that what I'm trying to get at is there was just a lot of sin, a lot of brokenness that I was raised in. Mm-hmm. And so when I did have this big T trauma as an adult, it kind of just like broke my brain. Mm-hmm. So what a trauma is, what I know it is it can be something that is not enough for too long, too much for too long, mm-hmm. right? So I think about what you went through with your ankle, right?
Yeah.
It's like, and so then that's how our brain kind of gets stuck, you know, in that survival mode, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so while my physical needs were cared for as growing up, my spiritual needs were not. I don't know that I would label it as neglect. I think that my parents were trying to do the best they could.
Sure.
My mom had a lot of sexual abuse from her father. Mm-hmm. And so there were secrets, there was all these things. There was things that then, you know, after the divorce, she took me and my sister to go live with her parents, with her abuser, you know? And so I don't know that she had another choice, you know, financially, but gosh, as a mom, it's hard to unpack that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, I want to give her the benefit of the doubt. Like, I know she was doing the best she could, you know, but like as a mama, like now I could not fathom like putting my children in that, environment. And there were a lot of things that happened that I'm starting to realize now, while it wasn't what happened to her, it still could be considered sexual abuse.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so it's like you've got all of these icky things happening, right? And then I don't know the Lord. I don't know hope.
Yeah.
I don't have a foundation, really. It was just trying to do the best I could, you know, with what I had, you know, and what was kind of given to me, but it wasn't Jesus, you know? Yeah. And so kind of part of that growing up, my grandfather, this is so crazy, but it highlights like God's goodness in his redeeming love and how he makes like a masterpiece out of your mess.
Yeah.
Because my grandfather, like through the veil of like massage, would say certain things, would do certain things. And so as I grow up, you know, I moved to go live with my dad because I knew things were uncomfortable and it didn't feel normal or right. But then you have this shame attached to it, like, well, shouldn't I know? Or this must be my fault in some way, which is it's so sad, right? Because it's like you're a child, you know? So survival.
Yeah.
Survival mode. That's what it was, you know? And guess what? The result of that in my adolescent years, in my young adult years, like that led to a lot of sin, you know? Yeah. And like trying to fill the void in my heart that was Jesus shaped, you know?
Yeah.
But it's, you know, and then it looked like anxiety. It looked like depression. It looked like, you know, all these yucky things, right? And so I think that when I went to massage therapy school, I think that my motivator was to go to just see, was that normal?
When did you figure that out?
It was, I don't think that, I mean, I was honest with myself about it until I got back into it when I was walking with Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think there was even shame attached to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It was like complete ick,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And so all that, icky, sin, no hope, all the things, right? Then I meet Brian, my husband, and we just celebrated our 13th wedding anniversary.
Yay.
Yay.
Congratulations. I didn't realize it.
Yes, look what God did. So I meet him. I am not in a place where I would like to have a relationship, but he was very persistent. He would not give up. And I could not shake this innate feeling that I needed to give him a chance. And so I did, and we've been together ever since. But so after we get married, you know, we have Sam from Brian's first marriage. We then have Evie. Then I get pregnant again, and I'm like staying at home with the kid, and I'm like, this is it. I'm fulfilled now. My life is great. This is everything I have ever hoped, or it's more than I could have imagined. Like, everything is so great. And then I had a miscarriage. And what was so amazing about the timing of everything and how I know the Lord was drawing me near to him was a friend had told me about MOPS, mother of preschoolers. She was like, you're at home, you know, you need community. She was like, let me tell you about this. It's at a church, but it's not like a church service. You're mainly just there to get, you know, be with other young moms. And I was like, I don't have a problem with Jesus. I've never met the guy, you know, I've heard good things. And so I went, but it was like all of that timing, like I was pregnant, and then like the second meeting is when I went through the miscarriage. And all miscarriages are so sad and so hard. This one was extra complicated. It was like my body did not get the memo. And so it was just kind of long and drawn out, the whole process. But so this happens, and I'm like, everything comes flooding back. Like, this is my fault. I am bad. I'm being punished. I've done a lot of bad things, you know, like, and so God had so, like, in his grace, like, placed me in this community of women who love the Lord. And so when I opened up that I'm like, I'm having a miscarriage, like, I don't know anybody that has been through this, and I said, I feel like I'm being punished, like God is punishing me because I've done so many wrong things. And this woman looked at me, and she was like, we don't have a punitive God. And, you know, to me, like that, I was like, that's really interesting language, you know? But I was like, okay. And the women, and I said, I started crying, and those women, I mean, they like pulled that table back and they completely surrounded me. There were hands all over me, and they just started praying. And I had never experienced anything like that before. You know, like I had been to church probably like a handful of times, like after a sleepover with a friend or midnight mass with like my stepmom, you know, she was Catholic. And so, but I'd never had, I went to youth group like once with a friend at one of their more like outreach events. And so it really didn't have, they didn't share the gospel.
How, isn't that the point of an outreach event?
Yeah.
Whoops.
You got all the new people in the room.
Whoops.
Let's tell them about Jesus.
Oops. So, MOPS that year, you know, they have a theme every year. I I joke now that MOPS is the bridge that got me to Jesus, you know. So the theme that year was finding light in the darkness and like he brings all like it's Psalm 139. I think it was 12 in there that's what the theme was, right? So even after that prayer experience, I think I was like getting ready, you know, MOPS was going to be it's like every 2 weeks or whatever. I'm wearing that shirt, the MOPS shirt. And I'm with Evie at the park, and we have like family pictures later that day. And this lady comes up to me, and she was like, "I really like your shirt. Are you a Christian?" And I was like, because it had, you know, Psalm 139, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't know. You know, I'm more spiritual." You know, like I didn't really know how to answer that.
Right.
But God was drawing me near to him, you know. So that it was that night that I ended up like hemorrhaging. And so that journey kind of ended with a 6-hour long ER experience. They were understaffed. It was a full moon. There was like a tummy bug happening, I guess, that people are going to the ER. And so it looked like me, you know, bleeding out on a gurney in a hallway and getting wheeled around to do various screening. And it was just, it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare. And, but, you know, I ended up going to even see this counselor that he was Native American, and he let his license lapse, and he just like gave therapy. He would like trade, you know. So I gave him a massage. He had a session with me, and I never got to go back and thank him because he doesn't know it, but he pointed me to Jesus, basically, because in his religion, he was basically like, I believe that, you know, people come into our lives for a reason. This little one that came to you and left too soon has other work to do, and so you need to release them. And I just remember sitting there, you know, as a young mother, thinking like, oh, that's baloney. You know? Like, I would never just like send my baby like, okay, best of luck.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But this Jesus, I could consider giving them to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? And so MOPS was there. So Jesus was calling me. They had this woman come to speak. I think her name may be Rachel as well. Apparently she was a she traveled and shared her testimony. I don't know if you guys know of her, but she did pottery. So MOPS has a speaker, right? So she came to speak. And while she was speaking, she was sharing her testimony. I didn't know that's what it was then, you know, and she was there to share her testimony. And while she did that, she would make she had a wheel, and she was making a piece of pottery.
While she's talking.
Yes. And so she made this like beautiful vase, you know, and I'm listening, and it's so cool, like hearing what God's done in her life. And it still sounds a lot to me like, well, everything's gone so well in your life, you know, like I'm so happy for you, you know. And it's so pretty. And then I'm like thinking like, this is really cool, and I really want to like buy that vase when she's done. I should probably just I'm going to ask her if I can buy it. You know, that's kind of like where I was. And then she goes, and I was like that had my attention. But she talked about Jeremiah and going to the potter's house and how the Lord spoke to him. And so when she shared that verse, I'm going to read it here. So the potter and the clay, Jeremiah 18. The word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord, arise and go down to the potter's house, and there I will let you hear my words. So I went down to the potter's house, and there he was working at his wheel. And the vessel he was making of clay was spoiled in the potter's hand. And he reworked it into another vessel, as it seemed good to the potter to do. And it's like, before even knowing the Lord, that was like the first time, like I had like a rhema, you know, where like the word like was alive. And I was like, I think that's what God's doing to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so like during this process, like my body, I was finally starting to feel a little bit better physically. And I went for a jog because I used to like jog and be really good about that. Don't do it anymore, but I had bought myself this little charm, this little angel wing charm, because I'm like, this is going to make me feel better, you know? And so I had that, and I was jogging on Cromwell Drive. We were renting an apartment because we were building a bigger house for our growing family. I was jogging, and I felt that little charm, and I just started to like the movie. I was rewatching the movie.
Yeah.
That out of body experience. And I was like transported to that there. And I was like, I cannot do this anymore. And I like kind of hands on my knees, you know, on the side of the road, you know. There wasn't all that stuff there, you know, like there is now. And I heard a voice say, let go and let me in. And I knew it was Jesus. And so, not in a church, not with anybody else. I said, Jesus, I can't do this anymore. Will you come into my heart and make me brand new? And I just want to do this with you. And from that moment, everything changed. You know, it wasn't like, okay, you know, everything's great, but I started like, somebody had gifted me with like a Jesus calling devotional. And so I was doing that. I was going to MOPS, and it really kind of threw a wrench into things. You know, Brian and I had been married for 3 years at that point. And it was probably like 6 months later that I went to him, and I was like, hey, I want to start going to church. I would love for you to go with me. I want to take the kids, but even if you don't go, I'm still going to go. And he was like, well, if you go to Vertical, I'll go with you. And
which is so funny.
Yeah, because I wanted to go to the place where I was doing MOPS.
Yeah.
Evie was doing preschool there. It just kind of made sense.
How did he know Vertical?
So we had lived in Whispering Hollow, and we had always seen signs for Vertical there. And then by the time all this happened, they were at McCormick. I think it was the first year they were at McCormick when we started attending. And do you know, my first day at Vertical, I met your dad.
I feel like you may have told me that, but I don't remember that.
Yeah, and I was pregnant with Lydia, my rainbow baby. Yeah, and he was like, he came up to Brian and I, and he was like, how's your love life?
That's my dad.
Yeah. And I was like, well, it's pretty good. You know, pointing at the back, you know. And he's like, no, Jesus.
Your love life with Jesus.
And I was like, it's great. And Brian was like, I'm kind of thinking about it, you know, like, because where I was completely unchurched. And like, for somebody like me, like, all the things I had walked through, like, this truly was the best news ever. Should be the best news ever for anybody, But for me, it's like my whole life I was running, trying to find something to fill this hole in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Brian was raised in church and kind of saw a lot of hypocrisy, saw a lot of religion, not relationship. And so it just kind of rocked the whole boat. But all of it's to say that God is a weaver, and he is weaving all things together for the good of those who love him and who are called according to his purpose. So while the broken path that led me to body work and without him was fruitless, he led me back to massage therapy after I did business with him.
Yes.
So in my healing from PTSD, which this is fascinating to me in my reading. So I was pointed to the book, The Body Keeps the Score. This doctor has dedicated, I mean, I hesitate to say his life, but his professional life really to studying trauma and the body and the ties that it has. And it was like talking about ways to heal from trauma, you know, why it happens, what it is, all that. I mean, anything you could ever want to know, it's in there. And when I recommend the book to a believer, I always caution to say, you know, he is not a believer. I always tell people, you know, you got to read this book with your gospel goggles on.
Yeah.
Pray before you read it. Ask the Holy Spirit, is this for me?
Yeah.
He'll be faithful.
Yeah.
To give a yes or a no, you know, because he is kind and gentle and wants us to be aware of the things that we need to be aware of.
Yeah.
Right.
Because not everything is for us to know.
Right.
So in that book, it had talked about in the healing, what is the word I'm looking for? Just the different ways of healing. Like religion helps people. And I'm like, check.
I got that one.
Yeah. It talked about doing yoga, like doing things that help connect you back to your body. And it talked about massage therapy. And I was like, that is so interesting, you know, because I was having a lot of physical things happen that were really weird. You know, it was like, I have Jesus now. I have had another baby. Like, I have all the things. Like, and so why do I still feel this way?
Yeah. And it would come around at the same time of year. Like we could, like calendar,
Right.
like we know. And I can
Yes.
speak for myself too, because of a certain time of year, it's just
The
your
body keeps the
like,
score.
It
Right.
so remembers.
Yeah.
Remembers.
He, you know, in that book, he says something I think is so interesting. While I disagree with it because we have the Holy Spirit, he makes a comment that the body in a room, the body is the wisest person. Now, while I disagree with that, I think that the body is wise,
Yes.
you know, in ways, right? And it remembers. And so we are in these vessels. We're having this experience. And it's all connected. So when I was like, the Lord was just unpacking so much. And I ended up, you know, I was like, man, I kind of wish that I could partner with the Lord in doing this to help bring healing to people, you know? Yeah, and like not to discount my own. It's like you've got to put your oxygen mask on first. I think sometimes, especially like as a young believer, it's like, I need to go tell everybody, I need to help everybody. And it's like, yes. And also, let's focus on you still and make sure that we're, you know, walking in freedom and all of that.
Yeah.
So it totally, you know, I had let my license lapse. And so I didn't think there was any chance. I certainly wasn't in a position where I wanted to go back to school to do it again. But I looked into everything, and because of the time that I graduated and how many hours were required at that time in the program I went to actually did almost double what the required allotment was. And so for that reason, I met the current guidelines. And so it was like due to all of that I could just study and then retake the exam to become licensed again.
Wow.
Yeah. And you did.
God made a way.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's how you just know, you know, that this wasn't just me trying to force something. This is him wanting to
He
partner
went ahead
with
of
me.
it.
Yeah. Well, the craziest thing is,
Even back then, he was already ahead.
that's
That's
right.
right.
Like he already knew. So this is so beauty from ashes,
Yeah.
right? Like I
Yeah.
just think of all of that darkness, all of the ick, the stuff that I didn't even want to say out loud.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
I'm going to make it good.
I'm going to make it good.
That's right. The redemption that you were talking about.
Yes.
I'm going to redeem this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I worked really hard. I got my license back, and the day it came in the mail was the day of my, that I had found out that it was the anniversary of the day that I had found out I was miscarrying. And it was like just another little hug from him.
Right.
Like, I'm going to make this good,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. It's a holy exchange. Replacement.
Yes. Yeah. Where I'm going to redeem this date for you,
Yeah.
you know? Not to discount it
Right.
that. And that's part of the healing journey, I think, too, is you cannot spiritually bypass
No.
trauma.
No, you can't.
No.
I tried to do that. I was like, but I have Jesus. He won, and it's
right.
like, yes, he did. But it did happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we are because of sin, we are in this place. And when we are in this place, bad things happen, and God cares about that.
Yeah.
So God never says to us, ignore all that. It's just me, you and me. No. He sits with the brokenhearted and he binds up all of their wounds.
Yeah.
Amen.
That's what he does.
Yeah.
So, as a therapist and as a massage therapist, in moments like you experienced, it's like that's what we're here for, to help bring freedom.
Yeah.
And it may look different, but when we're thinking of talk therapy, that's more of a top-down experience. And then when you read the book, he'll talk about this, that there is, when we're praying, when we are talking about our problems, when we're doing the cognitive work, the models like cognitive behavioral therapy, those are all top down. But those sorts of models, along with EMDR and other, trauma work, that is the somatic work, going what's happening in the body, what is stored in the body, that our thinking alone, cognitive processing, sometimes we've seen it today, it brings up emotion. And sometimes that can be very challenging when you have PTSD. So we have to find safe ways to recognize, how do we release this trauma in a safe way? And so we use, both are beneficial, but we can also use the bottom up approach, going, let's notice what's happening in the body. You said, I didn't realize, until this moment, I didn't realize there was something still stuck.
Yeah.
You didn't have recognition of really what you were going through, even the reality of going into the profession of massage when it was part of your own trauma story, and going, your subconscious self is trying to figure this out. That did not happen until later.
Right.
You had these other, even the experience of a miscarriage, which is happening to the body,
Right.
in the body. So it's really neat to me, that we get to experience freedom even through touch. And we know that
Yes.
because what does the scripture talk about? The laying on of hands.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
And
that
Jesus
all of that
touched.
is the releasing of power through and freedom through
Yes.
that. Well, obviously it's the Holy Spirit, but he's partnering with us.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's partnering with us. So
Yeah. And I one of the things that, I think sometimes as a believer, as an evangelical Christian, we tend to put things like this in boxes of, well, that's too
Yes.
overly spiritual, that's too new age, that's too,
Yeah.
and I am not advocating, what we are
No.
not saying is that there are ways that the enemy has perverted
That's right.
Absolutely.
this, and so out of fear and out of compartmentalization, because of for whatever the reason may be, I think some people are closed off to this, but then you carry stuff around, and I think that there is a really clear there's freedom that needs to happen, right?
Yes.
And so it's like, well, like you, when you would like, I don't want to, you'd pray over, Lord,
Mm-hmm.
who and how and
Oh,
where do
yeah.
I need to work?
I mean, I was so elated to get a second chance at doing that.
Yeah, because you had healing
with the
hands.
Lord, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I can pray for people. It doesn't even have to be out loud. It's like no matter what is and I mean, the Lord did the coolest things.
yeah.
He did the coolest things when I was doing that, and it was just such an honor. I mean, just to be able, just to think like that language of like being able to partner with Christ.
That's right.
And bringing healing,
That's right.
and get that attunement. I think
Yeah.
it's
That's
just like you mentioned. I hadn't even thought about it, or I was afraid to touch it. And it's like, I think we just have, as human, I'm going to say it's a human thing, but then I think, and then you add the layer of like, you work, you're a mom, you're wife, you got other responsibilities going on. I'm not going to speak for anybody other than myself, but I am so cruel to my body.
Yeah, I am. Yes, we know that I am.
I am so cruel to my body. Like when it's not doing something I want it to do. I am mean.
That's right.
And
I wouldn't be this way to anybody else, but to myself,
Right.
in my own head.
Well,
or,
and all of us, well, I don't want to speak for you, but just knowing you, like we all have different problems, autoimmune stuff. And a lot of times when I work with people who have bodies who maybe they've interpreted that you have betrayed me. You have betrayed me. Ooh, it's going to make me tearful. And they feel sick a lot, or they can't eat certain things, or there's just all this stress and overwhelm about their body, and even anxiety. Like these things bring anxiety or overwhelm or social anxieties, like all of that. Myself is betraying myself. And one of the things that I'll talk about is going, my body works hard for me every single day.
Yes.
My body, I am alive today because my body is working really hard. Yes, I have an autoimmune disease, but my body is confused, but it is working really hard to try to heal something that's really not broken. It's sending extra something there, thinking that something's wrong, and it's not wrong. My body is working really hard. And can I be kind to my body? Can I love? And it's not love myself, but can I love who God has created me to be? And we live in a broken world where there's brokenness, and I could go on a long bunny trail about just because we are in a fallen world, our bodies are under attack. We also have sin in this world, that we have inner beliefs. We are prone to things that aren't kind to our bodies. We live in a system where food is created in many ways to create addictions and all these other things. But can we say, when I'm in a moment where I'm frustrated with my body, can I meet kindly with myself?
Yes.
Yeah.
With compassion.
With compassion for myself. And in that moment, Sarah, it's making me tearful. And you know that I always say that because I always get tearful. But it became a moment of, I want to warn you that I'm not okay. And somebody listened and had compassion and said, can we try something? Whether they said that out loud or just, I'm going to pay attention.
Yeah, she didn't move away and go to the other foot.
Right.
Yeah.
She stayed right there, but
Yep.
did a different modality and totally changed.
And you didn't. You were afraid, but it was safe enough.
Yeah.
It was safe enough for you. And so when there is safety, and I probably have said this 1,000 times, but when there's safety, then there's a melting into, okay, I can be open to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when that happened for you, you were able to go, that isn't scary, right? That doesn't feel scary.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. And it feels healing to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's coming online? I have awareness, self-awareness is coming online.
Yep.
And I avoid that. I don't touch that. I don't think I've had that kind of touch. And that is healing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
She saw, she cared for, she acknowledged. I think that's a big thing, is like acknowledging it, you know?
Oh
yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't heal from something
I
that
wish
you
I had
don't
my freedom book in here
acknowledge.
right now because I wrote something down. But we do get very afraid.
Yeah.
We do get very so many times, whether that's working with women in the church or working with men, women, couples in marriages in my practice. I'm so afraid to look at this because I don't know if I'm going to be okay.
It's safety.
I don't know if I can recover. If I open this up, what if I can never be okay?
Yeah. So many people live there.
Yes.
They live there because they know what life is like with the box shut. And they've created this safe little,
But it leaks out.
but it
Yes.
certainly does. It doesn't
Yes.
stay shut. But they think that, okay, I'm just going to keep this over here and I'll be okay.
It doesn't.
But
yeah.
I don't know.
Because
there's
it
just
affects everything else.
Yeah.
It affects then the way you see things. It affects what you say. It's like we think that if we acknowledge it or pay attention to it, then we're going to get stuck there.
Right.
And feel that
That's
way
the lie.
forever. And that's the lie.
That's completely
It's
the
like,
opposite of what happens.
No, if you sit in it, then you can acknowledge it and then release it.
Unstuck.
I just got this like visual image of like your ankle and the Lord at your ankle going, will you trust me?
Yes.
Will
That's
you
so
trust
good.
me? Will you let me hear? And I've always had this image of a traumatized person as kind of this idea of when I'm kind of like helping people understand, when a dog is hit by a car or something traumatic, even if it's your dog, that dog can attack you, can bite you, they're not necessarily wanting your comfort in that moment. They're like, no, stay away. My nervous system is completely activated. I'm not in my right mind. And you can't barge in. You can't just run in hot. And that's not how the Lord is. The Lord is, I just like visualize him bending down to this wounded animal going, hey, I am safe. You're going to be okay. It's me. It's me. Can you hear my voice? Can you recognize my voice? I'm your master. I'm your owner. I mean, he's not our owner, but he is our master.
Yeah.
I'm here. And eventually that feels safe.
Yeah.
And then he's able to like kind of pick us up in our bloody mess and be our healer. But he's not unsafe. He
Yeah.
approaches us
Yeah.
in this way that is
It's holy.
on the run,
Yeah.
on that run going, hey.
Yeah. It's just, it is so holy.
I
You
love the
know?
way that sounds
Like,
beautiful. It's well said. It's holy.
so sweet. He's so sweet to us.
But
Yeah.
we have to remember that we are divine bodies.
Right.
Mind, body, spirit.
Mind, body,
soul.
spirit. So it all interacts together. And so when we think, so many people are like, I'm so frustrated that I keep feeling stuck, or I'm so frustrated that I keep having this reaction, or I'm so frustrated. And it's like, let's pay attention to that. And I will ask people, where do you notice that in your body? You know, where is that being held? And do you know how many times I hear, I don't know. It's like, well, let's slow down and let's notice, where is that fear? Where's that inner belief? When you have this inner belief, the cognitive, right?
Right.
When
Yeah.
you have this inner belief of, I'm not good enough. Okay. Take a deep breath and notice, where do you feel that in your body? Oh, I feel that in my heart. I feel that in my eyes. I feel this inner belief in me. Okay. How do we move that out? Because we are more than just one part.
Right.
Yeah.
We're a whole being.
So talk about that. What would be your next step then? Moving it out of your
Well,
eyes.
I'm going to let you, because you're our guest.
Something that, as you were speaking, I was thinking about is just the way that he knit us and wove us together, right? Our nervous system,
Right.
the vagus nerve, something that I really spent a lot of time practicing
On me.
before I stepped out of it was vagus nerve regulation.
Yeah.
And so
This is really, really good.
so good.
I'm so
Yes.
glad you're going here.
Yes. So the vagus nerve starts in your brainstem. It goes all the way down into your sacrum, and then it goes to the front to the sternum area. And so part of the manual therapy that I did was we would access points where the vagus nerve would come closest to the surface. Like, and you could feel for the
Like here?
pulse of the nerve. You can feel it.
Yeah.
I mean, that just is outrageous to me. So it controls your autonomic nervous system, the things that your body does without thinking.
Parasympathetic.
No, autonomic is like
The breathing and the swallowing. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's sympathetic and parasympathetic. That it's the autonomic is divided into those two ones. So the parasympathetic, think of a paramedic. That's the rest and digest. The sympathetic is alert, danger, fight, flight, freeze, fawn, those things. And so there can be, it's a nerve, and nerves by design are meant to flow.
Yeah.
So blockages can happen for various reasons. I'm kind of having like imposter syndrome talking
Keep
about
going.
this.
Stop it.
because,
You're doing
like,
great.
I'm not a doctor, but
Notes up here for you too.
thank you. So it was really so amazing to learn, just to even it just seems outrageous to me to be able to as we do the pressure points on the areas where we can feel the pulse. Sometimes we don't feel the pulse, but it's that slowing down. It's having care. It's being curious, right? And it's paying attention. When we were training, the instructor talked about basically, as we wait for it to balance, we make pressure. It's a very light pressure.
Right.
And you just listen with your hands for the pulse. Now, sometimes you don't feel it at all. Sometimes one side is moving and one side is not. The goal was to get both sides to pair together in a rhythmic motion that is not fast. That's the goal. We cannot force anything. We're basically inviting it to come back into balance.
Yeah. And you did that with Nixon, my son. You were going through all of this, and he was going through this. His world was opening up, lots of 7-year-old anxiety, COVID. I mean, lots. And he was sick to his stomach every single night. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And you came over and you showed me kind of some pressure points, but even just holding his face, holding the back of his neck and his ears, up here in the eyes, to try to get his body so his mind could follow.
That's right.
Because the vagus nerve goes directly to your belly, and so why are you upset? Why are you nauseated?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So
I
it was
mean-
so cool.
So your nervous system. So obviously it's very, it pays attention to stress. This was the figure years ago. I don't know what it is now. The American Medical Association said that 90% of doctors' visits could be pinpointed to stress. Isn't that insane?
90%.
Yeah. And so, like,
Pace that we live.
it's like, I don't want to say stress will kill you, but stress will kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the science has shown that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heart disease.
Yeah.
All kinds of
Yes.
things.
And when I
Yeah.
look at, like, what I'm not like, we are in a broken world. There is disease, illness, virus, like all the things. But like when I look at my mother and what her body went through, the abuse that she endured, and while I think that she tried to take some steps to healing, she didn't fully walk in and use the tools that Jesus had for her. And I think about the cancer, just how it killed her, you know? And it's like, I can't say that it was the trauma that did that, but I do wonder
Yeah.
if
How
that,
it added to all of
how
that.
it, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We can't help but wonder.
Oh my gosh.
Well, you know,
yes.
in when we think about medical diagnosis, there's lots of times where it's like, the word is leaving my mind, but it's something unknown. Ooh, what's the word? Etiology unknown. Etiology unknown. Etiology unknown. Etiology unknown. And it's going, we go, wow, I wonder if this is me. I often going, I'm wondering if etiology of this is living in a broken world. That we don't know what causes these things. Well, maybe broken environment, maybe trauma, maybe deep inner core beliefs that are negative about ourselves,
Toxic thinking.
toxic thinking. Like these things impact our physical beings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we weren't created
Right.
to
Right.
think this way. So it is damaging to us.
Right.
And when we think about like how the mind, our thinking impacts our health, like what it looks like when we think negative and how that changes the brain. When we think about high levels of hormones in our body that are stress hormones, how that impacts us, terribly, even our
in
brains.
fight or flight, and having all that blood flow to the amygdala, and then it actually grows that.
Right.
Instead, and then you can't be in your thinking brain.
Right.
Yeah, you're only in your reactive.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
And I can't imagine that was part. Now it happens because we're in a broken world, but I can't imagine that, like, having a frozen or stuck vagus nerve was part of his design or
Right.
intention, right?
But here's the thing. When we're talking about like what are ways can we activate the vagus nerve and increase our vagal tone, well, we can't always get to a massage therapist every day, but you know what you can do? In Isaiah, it says, when you have a spirit of heaviness, put on the garment of praise. And what are you
Yes.
doing when you're praising the Lord?
You're singing.
You are singing. And when you sing, what is happening?
It's
Yeah.
You are vibrating
Yeah.
your
you've gotta be
vocal
stimulating it,
cords.
yeah.
And you're vibrating, and so humming and singing, that all activates the vagus nerve. And so I love
That's
that
amazing.
that is so God, like you want to feel better? Come to me and sing. Come and praise and sing and put on the garment of praise for your spirit of heaviness. And I'm going to activate this nerve that I've put in your body that I like to say, where do we go to feel better? Vegas. And that's how you can remember, I will make you feel better. I will do this for you. So I tell people, go outside or lay down, put your knees kind of at a 90-degree angle, rub your tummy, rub it, do pressure points. You can kind of go around in kind of a circular motion. It'll also help you if you're gassy. And hum and sing.
It's so good.
And you'll get some
our
activation.
body cannot, when you're in the sympathetic pattern and state, you cannot, it can't operate at the same time, right? And so we have to invite the parasympathetic state, which is the rest and digest.
Right.
And that's when healing can happen. That's when you can get back into your...
Well, and we think about the window of tolerance.
Yes.
You know, so if I'm outside of, here's the window of tolerance. I'm going kind of up and down. If I'm within this, you know, I'm in a safe zone, even if sometimes I'm a little too high and I'm a little too low. But once we get outside of the window of tolerance, it's very hard for us to use our tools. You know, it's this idea of like, yeah, all these tools work. I hear it all the time. Like, these are really, really good. And I can use them when I'm like at a 6 or like I'm at a 5. Well, what is outside of the window of tolerance is a 7, 8, 9, 10. And so if you're functioning, if you're living at a 6,
You don't have much window.
you don't
Right.
have a lot of
You're
wiggle room, because
outside
as
it
soon
quick.
as you kind of get to 7, 8, 9, 10, you're in the parasympathetic nervous system, and those tools become harder for you to use.
Yeah.
So if you can find ways to daily integrate tools and resources. So how do we calm? Well, we can calm the nervous system, not just through the vagus nerve, but also through prayer, breath, the breathing. If you do
Breath
breathing
prayer.
and do
Yeah,
breath
breath prayer.
prayers, what are you activating? You are calming down the nervous system.
We need simple.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And that is the bottom up. That is when we're breathing and
Yeah.
we're noticing our breath, we are engaging that bottom up processing. And then we're integrating the prayer. And again, this isn't about New Age. This isn't about energy healing. This is about there is a spiritual realm, and everything else is our resource. You're going to hear me say that 1,000 times. God is our source, and everything else is our resource. But He has created us in these ways, in our bodies in these ways. You know, when we think about a wound, I get a cut, and I could look at that wound and I could say, the Lord is going to heal that. The Lord is I have faith that the Lord's going to heal that. But if my finger is falling off, I'm probably going to not just sit around at the house and go, I'm just waiting on the Lord here.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to the doctor and I'm going to say, could you please sew my finger back on?
Yeah.
Could you please make sure
Bandage
I'm
it
not
up.
going to get an infection?
Right.
And then I get to see something really cool happen. I get to see God begin to heal,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because He's created our bodies with that ability. But He's and that's a physical wound. But so often when we're thinking about our mental wounds, we don't give it the same attention.
Right.
We don't
and
give
it needs, that's it. It needs attention.
It does.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's like we're going to address that Jesus did that. A lot of times he would address the physical need and then he would address the spiritual need, you know? And so it's like, if we do that physically, why do we not think of trauma, PTSD? Why do we not think about it in the same way?
Yeah.
Why do we just ignore and just power through?
I think I know why. Because Jesus died on a hill, the place of skulls. He died on a hill of Golgotha. And I don't think that was a coincidence. He's dying on the place of skulls. I think that when I think of that, I go, the enemy loves to attack our minds.
Yep.
And that is a warning. My blood has to be shed over the place of your mind, because that is an enormous, that is where so much battle occurs.
Yeah.
Is in our thinking, is in our mind, is in our choices, is in our mind, our will, our emotions. All of that is a place where you have to be on guard, because all of us, our inner wounds come with negative thinking, negative beliefs, and it's something that as adults, we have to overcome that. We have to overcome it. We have to acknowledge it. We have to be aware of it. If I don't know something is, you didn't know what you needed to pay attention to.
Right. Yeah.
Until it was like, oh my gosh. Remind me what you said earlier that you didn't recognize.
I didn't want to feel a screw. Is that what you're talking about? The physical, why I tried to? Or I just neglected it too because I didn't. But
you were saying there was something there that, what was it?
I feel like I've been robbed.
Yes, I feel like I've been robbed.
I'm asking the Lord, like, okay, what did I, how do I, that is the first thing that came to my mind. And I was like, what is that? What is that?
And that's an invitation.
Right, exactly. When I was like, Lord, why am I crying? That was the first thing. And I'm like, okay, well, what is that? Like, I don't know. And I still don't. I'm like still kind of trying to unpack that with him. I can't articulate that yet, but that's,
do you think that in that moment of going, oh, that feels good, that two things. One, that you were like, that fear that there's now hope.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my gosh. And then also the realization that I've been holding on to this fear and now I can, I'm having an opportunity, a reparative moment right now.
Yeah. It was so, one, I just wanted to share it immediately. But also just, it almost was like, for me, it was like a relief because I'm like, oh, aha. Like, no wonder this has been like still a thorn in my flesh, even though I didn't really realize that it still was like that big of a deal. Like, but now I'm like, oh, well, duh. Like, but I'm holding on to something else.
So kind.
Yeah.
That it's so kind that you're like, it's my ankle.
Right.
It's my ankle.
I kind of feel really dumb.
But that's how kind God is, that he cares about even this what you think is, it's just my ankle. Yeah. And he's like, no, I care about it. And you are storing trauma there. Yeah. You're holding trauma in your body right there. And I am going to show you a deeper freedom that I don't want you, even in the lack of awareness. In that moment, God's going, because he's sovereign over all of it. Yeah. This isn't a coincidence. He already knew. And he's coming in and he's going, guess what? I'm going to use this person. I don't even know if she's a believer. I know nothing about her. But I'm going to use this person over here to bring you healing. Yeah. Just like he used a Native American man to speak something that said, no, I can give him to Jesus. Yeah. I may not be able to give him to Mother Nature or the earth or whatever the spiritual thing is, even though you kind of defined yourself as a spiritual person, I'm going to give him to this baby to Jesus.
Yeah.
I can do that.
And it's like with your ankle. It's like through her hands. It was like inviting Jesus into that.
Yeah.
That's right.
No,
You
I was
know,
absolutely aware
because
of
he
him.
is hope, you
That's
know.
right.
And I think that he's a gentleman,
That's right.
you know. And so he's going to wait until he's invited.
Who said that? Anne Graham Lotz. I think she said that once upon a time. So I've been cruel to myself about this, just in the word, I admitted that I've been neglecting it. And I know that I'm cruel to myself with the way that I think about my body right now and even speak out loud about it. And you mentioned something, we've talked about it before. Both of us have talked about this separately. I've talked about it with both of you separately is probably how I should have said that. But Candace Cameron Bure had a podcast recently, and she said her body was, why do you treat me this way? And I mean, here's the thing. When you each brought it up to me after my own body frustration, I was like, don't tell me about that. I didn't tell you all that. But in my head, I'm like, I don't.
I knew.
You knew my response. I mean, I was like,
And I
don't
knew you
even
would respond that way. And I'm like, I'm going to say it anyway.
Right.
like, thank you for cleaning my glasses. I mean,
that.
it's like, I even still, it gives me this, like I can't
I
get
have to read. We
behind
need
it.
to read
Yes,
the scripture.
I know. I want you to go for it because that's what I'm setting you up to go there, because that is still a hang up for me.
It is so profound. And so it was her, I think she did a series about just body, I can't remember what exactly, but anyway, it was talking about body image. There we go. And so she shared about how the Lord spoke to her about Balaam and the donkey and the angel. And so I'll read the scripture because you just can't improve on God's word, right?
Good.
Okay, so the Lord has told him not to go to this place. And he's like, I'm going to go anyway. And so the Lord is like, okay, I don't think the Lord is happy about it, right? But he's going to allow him to go. And so I'll start with...
It's like, I'll show you.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to start... This is Numbers 22. And I'm going to start in verse 22. Yes. Okay. Sorry. But God's anger was kindled because he went, and the angel of the Lord took his stand in the way as his adversary. Now he was riding, this is Balaam, on the donkey, and his 2 servants were with him. And the donkey saw the angel of the Lord standing in the road with a drawn sword in his hand. And the donkey turned aside out of the road and went into the field. And Balaam struck the donkey and turned her into the road. Then the angel of the Lord stood in a narrow path between the vineyards with a wall on either side. And when the donkey saw the angel of the Lord, she pushed against the wall and pressed Balaam's foot against the wall. So he struck her again. Then the angel of the Lord went ahead and stood in a narrow place where there was no way to turn either to the right or to the left. When the donkey saw the angel of the Lord, she lay down under Balaam, and Balaam's anger was kindled, and he struck the donkey with his staff. Then the Lord opened the mouth of the donkey, and she said to Balaam, "What have I done to you that you have struck me these 3 times?" And Balaam said to the donkey, "Because you have made a fool of me. I wish I had a sword in my hand, for then I would kill you." And the donkey said to Balaam, "Am I not your donkey, on which you have ridden all of your life long to this day? Is it my habit to treat you this way?"
She looked at me.
No.
She just looked at me. She cut her eyes at me.
But, listen, I mean, how often when I got a finger pointing, I got 3 more pointing back at me.
I know.
3, yeah.
Oh yeah, you lost that one.
Yeah. Uh-oh. I do that.
Yeah.
I do that
Yeah.
to my body,
Yeah.
who my body has been with me every day.
That's right.
And my body tries to tell me things, and I tell it to shut up.
Right.
Keep going.
Yep.
Ignore it. Press forward. Move on. We're fine. We're not sad. We're fine.
That's good.
And it's just reading that. I just love that she pointed that out. You know, I'm like, gosh, I wish I had seen that. But I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to carry it forth. I feel like in the body of Christ, we have diggers, right? And then we have carriers. And so I'm like a carrier of what Candace dug up in that scripture. Man, it's so profound to me. I feel like that's something that I'm going to need to go back and read regularly.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. It is so good. I think that the obstinate Sarah doesn't want to hear it. And that's where I still am.
You're still striking the donkey.
I am. I'm still striking my donkey. Like
Yeah.
my knee. You know, it's
Yeah.
like yeah.
So
I'm still there. Like I'm
Yeah.
just frustrated.
and that's where you have to, and me, because we haven't really talked about this on the podcast yet, but where I'm at
One
right
day.
now, one day, where I'm at going, what is this? What is this about?
Yeah.
This unkindness to self and at times disobedience. You know, because he was being disobedient.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's like, I don't know if you've ever had like a frustration. You're like, oh my gosh, you know, and people
Never.
who want to, but even like people, even like a child who like, they get mad at themselves. So then they hit themselves in the head,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know? And I'm like, what is that about?
Yes.
And I'm like, hey, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, why can't I hit myself? And it's like, as I'm explaining to my child, your body is not your own. This
That's
is
right.
unkind. You don't want to hurt your own self.
Yeah.
We don't do that. That's not the way that we treat ourselves. Would you hit someone else? Well, no. Then you don't hit yourself. That's not the way that God has designed you to be. Let's talk about it. Let's tell me how you're feeling. But we don't hit our own head but that's what we're doing.
Oh, yes.
I mean,
To
100%
ourselves.
Yeah.
verbally berating, you
Right.
know, and it's like, I'm not saying I do this perfectly. You know, my body is not perfect. I still have, my thought life is not always the healthiest with my body. But as I've taken this journey of reconnecting to my body, I've really like, in so many things, it's been a goal to just have an attitude of gratitude. And so while my body doesn't look the way, you know, maybe I think it should look, or maybe there are certain things that just don't run right, you know, like I think they should. Man, I'm so grateful that it does work in the ways that it does. And I think it's like, you don't have to, sure, it's great. If you can go to a massage therapist that you can feel safe with, great. But if not, it's going to feel unnatural. But like, I invite you, like, have a moment with the Lord where it's just you and him, and you can put your own hand, you're a carrier of the Holy Spirit,
Amen.
right? Like, have a moment where it's like, put a hand on that part that you're upset with, that you need to do business with, and say, you know, thank you. You've carried me all of my days. Man, you've been through a lot. Thank you.
That's so good.
And I think that might sound so uncomfortable, but it's intimate and it's holy, right? Because you're with the Lord, you're in a safe place. Like, if you're a carrier of the Holy Spirit, if you are walking with Jesus, then you got to think he's a safe place, right?
That's
You got to
right.
know.
Yeah.
And so I think that anytime that I have, and I've practiced that, anytime I have been critical of a part of my body, I'll kind of take a moment and I'll put my hand on that part and I'll be like, I'm so sorry that I've been speaking this over you. I want to do some things different, but thank you.
That's right.
That you're here, you know, like it could look like, hey, my little arm doesn't look defined like it used to, but oh my gosh, you carried my babies, you know, like it doesn't have to look a certain way, you know, but it's, I think taking the time
and then moving to, and you can trust me.
Yes.
You can trust that I'm on a journey, because sometimes people go, I can't trust myself.
Right.
Your brain can hold on to, I'm on a journey.
Yeah.
That's good.
I'm on a journey to treating you better and to being more kind and to making better choices. Like, thank you for what you have, how you have supported me in my life. And you can trust me to do a better job in these areas.
It's to move forward.
It's to move
Let's
forward
move
in
forward
kindness.
together.
That's right.
Yeah.
And when you're thinking about like the journey that you're on and I'm on and we're all on, but what you're saying, this like, no, I'm still kind of beating myself up. When I think about me, Rebecca, as physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually the healthy version of myself, the version of myself that I'm like, no, this is who I am at my core. This is who I am and who God's created me to be. And I see those parts of her that are fearful, broken, speaking these things. I can get really mad at her and tell her, you be quiet. And sometimes we do need to boss ourselves.
Yeah.
Sure.
But we have to be careful of what that bossing sounds like.
Right.
Yeah.
Because really, I can look at her, that part that's really critical, the part that's really hurt or fearful or whatever it might be. And I can look at her and say, I know why you are doing that. You are trying to keep me safe. You are trying, through that critical spirit, through that self-judgment, through that negative self-talk, you are trying to keep me safe. I need you to trust me. I need you to trust me. And if you can't be quiet, I'm going to have to ask you to go sit outside the room. Because I'm trying to do something different. What are your thoughts?
You know what comes up for me recently, something God's been talking to me about is self-empathy.
Compassion.
Yeah. Growing up, having the traumas as a child, I think like shame is pretty common. You know, that whole like, this is my fault, I am bad, I feel ashamed. Like all of those are things that I have to work hard to overcome and to replace those lies with truth. And I think that one of the things he's highlighted is that compassion, right? Is like, I need to fully own the love and the compassion that he has for me.
So good.
I need to fully receive that.
Yeah.
One, because that's the oxygen mask, right?
Yeah.
But two, how can I extend that to others if I have not received it myself? And it sounds like I've talked to him because I'm like, this sounds so simple. Like, Jesus loves me.
Right.
But it's like, no, it's owning it. It's receiving it. And I think that it's a continual practice, just like a surrender is continual.
Yeah.
But I think it's just let yourself receive fully his love and his compassion for you so that you can extend that to your body.
I want to read this scripture. It's 10 verses, but it is out of Psalms 6.
I was just,
O Lord, rebuke me not in your anger, nor discipline me in your wrath. Be gracious to me, O Lord, for I am languishing. Heal me, O Lord, for my bones are troubled. My soul also is greatly troubled, but you, O Lord, how long? Turn, O Lord, deliver my life. Save me for the sake of your steadfast love. Steadfast love. For in death there is no remembrance of you. In Sheol, who will give you praise? I am weary with my moaning. Every night I flood my bed with tears. I drench my couch with my weeping. My eyes waste away because of grief. It grows weak because of all my foes. Depart from me, all you workers of evil, for the Lord has heard the sound of my weeping. The Lord has heard my plea. The Lord accepts my prayer. The enemy shall be ashamed and greatly troubled. They shall turn back and be put to shame in the moment. But the Lord He hears our pleas. He is not unaware, but He does invite us in to asking and to seeking. If you seek me, you will find me. If you knock, the door will be opened. He pursues us, and He's not done.
That's right.
right. It's funny that you bring this up because this verse the Lord brought to me the other day when I was thinking about coming and I was doing the dishes in the kitchen. And it was this one and another one where the other one is, the anguish of my soul. But this about my bones, it's in my bones. My bones are aching. My eyes are weak. And it's like the whole picture of how the heaviness just saturates our entire mind, our body, and our soul. And so it's just crazy because I hadn't even mentioned it to you. But I think that going back to what you were just saying about putting on the love and the compassion and accepting it, like it goes, for me, I just felt like, well, it's a garment. I have to put it on, which led me back to you too. And I think this is part of the perfectionism component that it's got some straggly roots in there, because I am still so, while I have grown and broken free of the critical perfectionism in these areas over here, this is a straggler.
Isn't
and
that
look
crazy?
At this.
It's
look
like,
at it's
it's
got
here
a
too.
long,
You
it's
got a
got some
wily
long
hair.
legs.
Yeah.
And I am sitting here going, well, I would never talk to someone else the way I talk to myself. I would never, I would, it's like, and when you say,
Right.
well, I can't extend it if I don't have it. And I'm like, well, like that was very convicting for me in the moment. 'Cause I'm like, ooh, maybe are there areas with who am I closest to that maybe isn't getting compassion because I am not compassionate? Well, then I think of my kids, and I'll be real honest, like I am uncomfortable right now. I'm ready to walk away and take a break because I'm feeling a lot of weight right now. Now I would not say that this is conviction. I would say this is an awakening to some things that the Lord is like, Sarah, we need to clean this.
Wow.
That's really, really cool.
So I'm just,
Well, you're vulnerable.
yes,
You're
I want
vulnerable
to
right
get
now.
up out of this chair.
Do you know what I want to say too is,
And I'm making myself look at both of you in the eyes, which is also really, really, really hard.
well,
right
guess
now.
what? Shame and eye contact
I know. Yeah.
cannot coexist.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so there's no condemnation for those in Christ Jesus.
Right, yeah.
We are in progress, and he will be faithful to complete that good work
That's
he
right.
began in us.
Right. Yeah.
And I do want to speak this over you. He calls us to progress, not perfection.
That's
Amen.
right.
Yeah.
And
That's
you
right.
know that.
Yeah.
But you got to put that on too, sister.
Yeah.
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 And it's
left
the
that on the floor.
invitation. It's
Yeah.
the invitation for all of us to you just said it, like there's more refiner's fire. There's more breaking because, not because I'm a cruel God, but because I know what I want to do for you.
Yeah.
He has life for us.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, and I have freedom, and I have to take you to this uncomfortable place so that you can be free. And even just now in this moment when you're saying, so that then I want you to be able to offer to my people this. And I have been a friend, you have been my friend for a long time. And I know that you are kind and gracious, and you have spoken into me even things that have been, that you may not be able to receive even right now yourself in this season. And this is a new season for you. This hasn't always been the way that this atmosphere has opened up the invitation for God to say, I have something to offer you. And it's bringing us into that self-awareness. And so I'm excited, and I'm grateful because I know that this has been a major process of going, I feel very uncomfortable with the way that I feel about myself when I see myself on camera.
Yeah.
And us having to continue to walk out obedience, even when we haven't gotten to the complete, we're not on the, it's like, here's the thing, Sarah, sometimes God calls us to be on a journey with people,
Yeah.
and not just a teacher and a coach.
Well, and I think it's like, take the pressure off. Take the pressure off. It's progress, not perfection. Do the next right thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Get in the chair again.
Yeah.
Y'all,
I think
love
everybody's really jealous of the friends that I have.
Ditto.
No.
I love y'all.
Love
you.
too. Thank you for having me on.
I'm excited to have you on again.